As you all know that culvert is a cross drainage work whose length is less than 6 meters. So that kind of structures we'll call it as a culvert. And the purpose of the culvert, it's not only limited to the cross drainage work. I think you might have observed the underpasses which lies below the any roads or the railway lanes. So those structures are also made with a type of a structure called the culverts. And the thing is that whose span is limited to 6 meters. Like whatever the kind of any short span, we can say it as a bridges, like whose span is less than 6 meter. So that kind of structures we'll call it as culverts. And then as already we have discussed in the class, like we have 5 different types of the culverts, that are reinforced concrete slab culvert, then box culvert, pipe culvert, stone arch culvert, and then steel girder culvert for the railways. And we have already discussed about all these types. And then this particular reinforced concrete slab culvert we even covered in the regular class sessions. So now in this particular session I'm going to just concentrate on the box culvert. RCC box culvert of a square or the rectangular opening, so that particular kind of culverts we'll call it as box culvert. So here these kind of culverts are preferred in the cases when you have a less magnitude of the discharge, and also when you have a less soil bearing capacity. That means when you have a very weak soil. So in such cases, compared to the other types of the culvert, the box culvert is considered as a more economical one. Okay, then in this particular slide you have 4 images. If you observe the images 1 and 2, if you take image 1, so you have a single box. Then if you take image 2, you have a more number of boxes, that is you have 3 boxes. So normally the number of the boxes what you need to provide for any cross drainage work, that depends on the magnitude of the discharge. Say for example, if the magnitude of the discharge is less, in such cases you can go for the single box. Suppose if the magnitude of the discharge is more, in such cases you need to go for the multiple boxes. The reason is, suppose if the magnitude of the discharge is more, then if you want to provide a single box, what happens is that will increases the size of the components. Okay, so if the size of the components will if it increases, then the structure will become uneconomical. So in order to reduce the cost and make the structure economical one, you need to go for the multiple boxes with lesser size of the components. So that's about the figure 1 and figure 2. Then coming to the figure 3, a passage has been made for the movement of the animals below the road. I think you might have observed while traveling across any national highways or the state highways or any expressways in any forest area. In some places, like you may not be having any streams, even then you can see a box culvert or any passage which has been provided below road. The reason is, you have to provide the passage if you have any expressways or if you have any national highways or the state highways in any forest area, or in the places where you have a more number of livestock. So in such places you provide a passage for the free movement of those animals. So in order to avoid the accidents and in order to avoid the disturbance which is caused by those animals for the people who uses the road, so for that reason you need to provide the passage for the free movement of those animals. So that's about the figure number 3. And then if you look into figure number 4, here a passage has been provided for the movement of the vehicles which is below the road. So there are normally this kind of culvert will call it as a underpasses. As you all know that box culvert is a simple rectangular box of the square or a rectangular shape. Basically it has a four components. The top portion of the box, that will call it as box culvert. You can refer the figure number 1. The top portion of the box culvert, that is called as top slab, and the bottom portion of the culvert, that is called as a bottom slab, and the side portions are called as side walls. And then you can see that the corners of the box culvert or the fillets have been provided, so that we'll call it as haunch. So now we'll look into the functions of each components separately. So here, in case of the box culvert, the top slab, it serves the purpose of the deck. You know that deck is a portion in any bridge, so which permits the movement of any vehicles, or it permits the movement of any the pedestrian, depending on the type of a bridge. Similarly, if it comes to the side walls, so as you know all know that in case of a slab culvert, as a supports we have the abutments at the ends, but in case of the box culvert, here will not be having any abutments. You know that abutments are meant to provide the support for the deck, but in case of the box culvert, these side walls that serves the purpose of abutments. So that means here these side walls that will act as a support for the top slab, and you know the top slab, so that is a portion which serves the purpose of the deck, and the side walls what we have, so that serves the purpose of the abutments, or it behaves like a supporting structures for the top slab. Then, and you know that if you consider any structure, like you need to have a foundation, right? So the bottom slab what you have, that acts as the foundation for the structure. Okay, so if you refer the figure 1, in that figure it is clear that the top portion which is called as a top slab, so that will act as a deck, or that serves the purpose of the deck, and then side walls that serve the purpose of supporting structure. So like if you compare with a slab culvert, these side walls that you can consider it as a abutments, and then the bottom slab that serves the purpose of the foundation. And then one more thing, while construction of the box culvert, you cannot directly construct the structure over the soil, so you need to have a proper subgrade. Okay, so that means you need to have a proper level surface. So this is how the surface preparation has to be done. Like first, in order to get a level or the rigid surface, the subgrade has to be made with a layer of a crushed stone with the fine aggregates. That portion is a mixture of both the fine aggregates and the coarse aggregates, and over that you have to put a layer of PCC, and then over that PCC layer you have to provide a layer of a cement mortar, that is to get a proper bond the structure and the foundation concrete part. And then as I mentioned that the top slab that serves the purpose of deck, if you observe the figure number 2 and 3, you can make out the major differences. Like if you look into the figure number 2, in that figure the top slab is at the road level. Then if you look into the figure number 3, the top slab is not at the road level. That is which in that particular case the top slab has been provided at depth below the road level. The reason is you may be having some cases where the magnitude of discharge is very less. So in such cases, if you provide a bigger size culvert, then that becomes uneconomical. Say if you consider number 3, in this case, depending on the discharge requirement, suppose if you have got a very small size box culvert, in that case the top slab, it is the top slab of the culvert which is not coming to the road level. Okay, in that case if you provide a top slab to the road level, then the structure will become uneconomical. So in such case what you can do is you can make the box culvert depending on the discharge requirement. So in order to match the road level at the bridge, so you can do the soil filling over the top slab. So in that way you can make the structure economical. So that is with respect to figure number 3. If it comes to figure number 2, you can see that the top slab of a culvert which is coming at the road level. So here you don't have any problem. Like this case, the top slab is serving the purpose of deck. But when it comes to the figure number 3, since the magnitude of discharge is less, so in that case if you provide a bigger size culvert, so then that may become uneconomical. So for that reason, provide a culvert required discharge condition, and then in order to match the road level at the bridge site, so you have to do the soil filling over the top slab. In previous slide I might have missed the explanation about the haunch. So if you look into the figure number 1 of the previous slide, that is slide number 5, so in the box culvert, that is in the inner side, so instead of having a sharp corners, you will be having a slight bend corners. So the reason is, I think you might have observed the cracks in all the different types of the structures, even if you take the building also. So always the cracks will start forming from the corners. Okay, the reason for the formation of the cracks is so normally when any structure, when it is subjected to the loading, the stress concentration will be more at the corners. So that's the reason normally the cracks will start forming from the corners, and then it will propagate into the remaining part. So coming to the box culvert also, like when the box culvert, when it is subjected to loading, if you provide a sharp inner corners, then so that may leads to the failure of the structure, because like since the magnitude of this stress is more at the corners, then the cracks may form at that point, at that particular junction. So in order to avoid that, a slight bend has been provided, so that you will be having a additional reinforcement, and also you will be having a additional concrete portion, so to take care of the higher magnitude of the stress compared to the other portions. So that's about the haunch. Then coming into the construction process of the box culvert, similar to the other types of the structures, even the box culvert that can also be constructed both the ways, like you can construct on site, and also you can construct by using the precast members. In this slide you have a figures which can give you the reference of on-site construction. So like here also the construction of the box culvert, it is similar to the other structures. First we need to start with the foundation. Here also you know that for the box culvert there is no need of any additional foundation components, because whatever the bottom slab you have for the box culvert, that itself acts as a foundation. So, and then you cannot directly place the bottom slab over the soil, so you will have to prepare the sub base. So what you have to do is, first you have to put a layer of mixture of the coarse aggregates and the fine aggregates, and over that a PCC has to be laid, and then a layer of mortar has to be placed, and over that you should start the construction of the box culvert. And then a very important thing is, while doing the construction of the box culvert, you should not construct each component separately. That means I can say that first I will make the bottom slab, and I will do the side walls, and then will make the top slab. You can do that, but one more important thing is, you should have a continuity of the reinforcement between the components. So that means you should have a connectivity of the reinforcement between all the components of the box culvert. So if you look into the figure number 2 in this particular slide, you can observe the continuity of a reinforcement from the side wall to the top slab, because this particular type of a culvert, that is box culvert, it all the components that has to be constructed as a single unit, and then it behaves monolithically. So in order to get such kind of behavior, you should have a continuity of the reinforcement. So this is how the box culvert has to be constructed on site. In the previous slide, we discussed the in situ construction process of the box culvert. In this slide, I'm going to explain about the precast, the construction of the box culvert by using the precast elements. So in this slide you can see the 3 images. In the first image you can see the units of the box culvert. Then in the second image you can see the placing of those units inside, and then that is how the assembly of the units looks at the end. Now coming to the first figure, first what you are supposed to do is, you have to prepare the units of the box culvert depending on the discharge requirement. Okay, so all of you know that how we need to fix up the dimensions for any bridge. So normally, suppose if you are making a bridge across the any water bodies, okay, so the dimension of the bridge, that depends on the discharge conditions. And then suppose if you are making the culvert for the underpass, then that depends on the size of the road. So depending on the requirement, you have to prepare the units of the box culvert. So here, while making the precast units, so not only you have to concentrate only on the either discharge requirement for the river bridges, or size of the roads for the underpasses, you also have to concentrate on your available transportation facility. So you can, if you observe these figures, you might have get the question in your mind that instead of having these separate units, why can't you have a single unit for the complete structure? You may have that question in your mind. The answer is, like, you can construct this complete box culvert with a single unit, but the problem is, do you have a transportation facility for that much bigger size culvert? So that means, you know that you have to construct it somewhere else, and then it has to be bring it to the side by the trucks, and then it has to be lifted from truck using the crane, and then it has to be placed properly. So to do all these activities, you should have a good transportation facility. Okay, so So depending on your available transportation facility also, you have to decide the size of the unit. It's like you should not reduce the size of the inner dimension. What you are supposed to do is you can reduce the length of the culvert, so depending on your available transportation facility. Okay, so first what you are supposed to do is, so depending on your discharge requirement, and then depending on the size of the road, if it is a underpass, and then depending on the available transportation facility, you have to prepare the units of the box culvert, so that you can see in figure number 1. If it comes to the figure number 2, here what is happening is like you have to bring the precast units from the construction, the precast yard to the construction place. It has to be placed at the a proper position. Okay, so after placing the each units in a proper position, then the next question is what you need to do for the joints which you will get in between those units. So you should not leave those joints blank. So here what you have to do is you have to fill that joint with the sealant. So normally the people will use the elastomeric sealant, so it's a elastic material, so that joint has to be sealed using that particular kind of sealant. So that you can see in brown color in a third figure. So in third figure you can observe that, so the units which are which are placed in a proper position, and then the joint which you will get between each unit that has been sealed with the help of the sealant. Okay, so then you can see the YouTube link at the bottom, so you can refer that video for the complete construction process of the box culvert. So I hope that way video will give you a clear picture of how the box culverts you can construct by using the precast elements. Till now we discussed about the construction process of the box culvert and also the components of the box culvert, and then in the beginning I mentioned that the box culverts are economical compared to the other types of the culverts. So now in this particular slide I'm going to discuss about why the box culverts are economical compared to the other types of the culverts. Like here you have a four major points which supports the why the box culverts are economical compared to the other types of the culverts. So I will take these points one by one. So in the first point it is mentioned that the box culvert is a rigid frame structure, and both the horizontal and the vertical members, that is, are made of solid slab. Horizontal members means top slab and the bottom slab, and the vertical member means side walls, and then which is very simple in construction. Okay, so now as you all know that the box culvert what you have, so it behaves like a monolithic structure, that means a single unit, so that makes the complete structure as a rigid unit compared to the other forms of the culvert. Suppose if we look into the slab culvert, so there you know that as a supporting structure you will be having a abutments, and then over that you will be having a slab, and also you know that there is not a proper connectivity between a abutment and the slab, so there you cannot get a box culvert kind of structural behavior in case of a slab culvert. And then one more thing is like there will not be any moment distribution you will get from the slab onto the from the slab to the abutments in case of slab bridges, but in case of box culvert, since it has made continuous with the reinforcement. So there is a distribution of a moment from the top slab and to the from the top slab to the side walls. So this makes the complete structure rigid. And then if you look into the structural form, it is very simple compared to the other types of the culvert. uh, like even if you take a slab culvert, you need to make the abutments and then you have to make the slab. But if it comes to the box culvert, since it has to be constructed as a single unit, it can be constructed very easily compared to the other forms of the culverts. And then coming to the next point, in case of high embankments, an ordinary culvert will require very heavy abutments that will not only be expensive but also transfer heavy loads to the foundation. Um, this is a case when you have a very high embankment. So high embankment means when you have a embankments which is having more height. In such cases, what happens is, um, when you have a soil for a more height, so that will transfer a more load onto the abutments. Then uh, whatever you know that whatever the load which comes on the abutment, that will get transferred to the foundation. Then you may require bigger size of the abutment, and then you may require bigger size of the foundations. But such kind of thing, it will not happen in case of box culvert, because you will be having a complete rigid frame structure. So that will take care of additional uh, the soil pressure what you will get in case of the high embankments. And then coming to the third point, so box type of structure is suitable for the non-perennial rivers or the streams where the core depth is not significant, and then subgrade soil is weak. So you know that uh, box culverts are preferable in the cases where you have a very weak soil. So normally what happens if you look into the any other types of the structures also. Say for example, if you take any building, suppose if the soil is very weak, then you have to construct a building over that structure. You cannot have the isolated foundation, right? So in such cases, normally people will go for the raft foundation. Okay, so even in case of the bridges also, if the soil is very weak, either you have to go for the bigger size foundation or very deep foundations, or the other option is you need to have a raft kind of thing. But that problem will not occur in case of box culverts, because the bottom slab what we have of the box culvert, so that serves the purpose of the foundation, so that itself acts as a raft foundation. So that means, since the contact area of the bottom slab is more with the soil, so that acts as a raft foundation, right? So hence you may not require additional foundation components. Okay, so in that way you can say that box culvert is economical compared to the other types. Okay, so then coming to the fourth point, dead load and superimposed load are distributed almost uniformly over the wider area as the bottom slab serves as a raft foundation, thus reducing the pressure on the soil. Like whatever the explanation I have given for the previous point, same thing applies here. Like since you have the more area for the distribution of the load, what you will get from the any vehicle or any, like for what purpose you have made that culvert, so so that load will get distributed for the wider area. In the other sense, the bottom slab that acts as a raft foundation, so that reduces the pressure on the soil. So in that way the box culverts are economical compared to the other types of the culverts.